Welcome everyone to another episode of the Warmup, man. It's me, man, Chris Simmons. I did a little slip up, my bad. But gonna keep this moving, man. I'm here with the guys. Got Reg, got Kev RL, and again for some reason we got Kirchella in the building for the fourth time. I don't know why he don't change his name. But go ahead, man. Say what's up to everyone who was rocking with us, who took the time out to tune in and listen to what we got to say.
What's up? Welcome everybody. Thanks for I'm glad to have the band back together this week. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it's good to have almost everybody here.
Everyone's here. What you mean? Who's missing?
Yeah, I said that totally wrong. Let's get past that.
There's
a lot of misfires going on at night.
The boy got a lot of blanks out here. Soldier boy. So, hey man,
because that's happening for real though.
If this is the first time rocking with us, man, this is the place we're talking about sports, current events, and everything else in between through the lens of black culture, man. We're here every Tuesday, so please, check us out on YouTube, man. Every Tuesday we got the drop. Or if you listen to it on the audio side, if you want to just do it in the car, man, without taking your eyes off the road, man, we are also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite podcast from, man, that's where we are. And again, hit us up on the social network side of things, man. Grindhouse NTWK. It's all one word. And that's on Twitter, that's on IG, that's on Reddit. And then finally check us out on Discord too, man. We have a cool community there. We're just trying to get the banter going. And you can chat with us and talk to us about the latest topics and things like that. So anything else, man, that I didn't touch on?
Yeah. Cool. Hey, good job this time, man. Good job.
Well, man, when you hear every time we record, then you get a little bit better. Some people, take days off, but it's okay. It's okay. So
then why did you mess up the intro then?
Oh man, well, sometimes it
happens. You just walk right into that.
Players mess up every once in a while. It's okay. Players mess up every once in a while. It's okay. Even MJ missed a free throw. Even Steph Curry missed a free throw. It's okay. He's only 95%. That 5%. No, I was that 5% that one time, but it's all good. Clean it up. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it moving. Unless you got something else you want to say.
Hey, let's go.
Okay, cool. Well, let's get right into it, man. The NFL is starting to stir up some news, man. Deshaun Watson, he's off. Amari Cooper, he's a Cleveland Cavalier, Cleveland Brown. And Calvin Ridley, he ain't showing up for 2022 season, apparently, because he just got suspended by the NFL for all 2022 season for gambling. Last week, the NFL suspended Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley indefinitely, at least through the 2022 season, for betting on NFL games. Some NFL pundits suggested that the suspension was a lot because of the fact that he was gambling $1,500 on his own team to win football games. So a lot of speculation about the reaction and the response and just kind of the nature of this suspension and the details surrounding it. So we can just jump right into it, man. Calvin Ridley, he ain't playing. He was a really good wide receiver. He's just gonna miss his whole season. So I'll just ask you, Kirchella, man, was it worth it to just gamble on NFL games? Even if it's legal, is it just worth it? $1,500 or however much, for a chance to not play, essentially.
Well, let me ask you this, man. Would you wager $1,500 to lose $11 million?
It depends on what the returns were, but
it's not more than $11 million.
But I don't think he knew he was gonna lose his contract. I think he just thought, this is not a big deal.
No, I disagree. Because I've been listening to chatter about this, man, and apparently in every locker room they have these placards that says pretty much "Thou shalt not gamble on games." Wow. And then I found out listening to I forget his name, but a couple of other people researching this said this the same thing. They have symposiums, man, where they bring the new players in to tell them the can do's and the can't do's, and gambling is a big part of it. Let's be real. part of the reason why these players are able to earn such a large salary now is because the NFL finally changed their tune and accepted gambling, right? So they have to protect that at all costs. It's about the bottom line. If more
interesting one. I thought about it because I just mentioned in pre-pod. I said, you know what? I think it's two different cans of worms, and I still stick by that. I think all the ones that you brought up, and there's more, Ben Roethlisberger and other players who have done things, and their suspensions are not as heavy as that. I don't feel like those really undermine directly the sport or the credibility of the outcome of the sport. I think the answer is not to give him less of a sentence, but maybe let's bring those suspensions up longer or take those things more seriously. But the one that I did think was interesting that I mentioned was Tom Brady and the Patriots. That does affect the outcome when it comes to Spygate, Deflategate, all the other gates that happened over there, and those suspensions were not as severe as that. So I think an argument could be said, but not in terms of off the court behavior that doesn't affect the integrity of the game. Yeah.
I feel you. Reg, I'm sorry, Kev, you have something different that you want to add?
No, I do feel Reg on that point. Through that lens, I agree. However, I wish we would, the same kind of effort or the same kind of energy in which we want to support the product, although that's what we're there for. We got to support people as well, people, product. People are important. I think they're more important than the product. So at the end of the day, I would want to see, like what Reg said, not to bring the other one down, but to bring the suspension up more severe for anything that's in the domestic abuse or anything in the abuse category, because one, that's not the image you want to portray, although like you said, that it doesn't affect the product outcome. That can affect the product because people want to support an organization, a team, individuals that have values, and those things don't demonstrate good values. At the end of the day, it should be something that we consider to be a high impact, but unfortunately sometimes it gets shoved to the wayside, or it happens, or it's commonplace, or whatever the case may be. However we take it, we should consider it just as severe as when you mess with the bottom line, with the figures.
Cool. Kurt, what you got?
I agree with you guys, but like it's nuanced, right? Because like Kev, to what you're saying, capitalist society is always about that bottom line. And unfortunately, if a player goes out and is involved in a domestic violent case, they still available to suit up and play on Sunday, right? So NFL still gets their money, still gets their use. And unfortunately, that's the lens that we're looking at. I will be interested in the how that thing is implemented. It should be on par at the very least, right? We should care about people more. But when is it implemented, right? Allegation comes up through the pipe. I'm not talking about like a Ray Rice situation where you have a videotape, or I think it was a New York Jet, somebody, there was another video of him, an ugly scene about him beating his girlfriend. But when it's the allegation, right, and it's just words, the report's sent up and the police are doing an investigation, what do you do with the player then? That would be my question. Do you put them on some type of like administrative paid leave? Do they continue to play until the civil courts straighten it out and submit their investigation to the NFL? And then at that point, the NFL can enact action, right? I wouldn't want it to get to a point where allegation comes up, NFL striking the hammer before the civil courts and the civil sector gets to do their thing. So I'm with you guys, is just the how it's implemented, right? It will be very interesting to see how that unfolds.
Yeah. Well,
if they can do it.
I think what you described was the NFL exemptions list. Essentially, there's something that happens off the field that generally stirs up a lot of what's what I'm looking for? Controversy surrounding a player. So, like, for example, Ezekiel Elliott, I believe, had this situation. Or Greg Hardy, I'll just use him because he's more. His was more.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson. But Deshaun Watson, I think he got suspended, or he just got benched. It wasn't an official.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was that's what we talked about pre-pod as well. Like,
yeah,
he didn't get. There wasn't an NFL hand down for the season. It was left to the discretion of the office to decide what they want to do. And that's.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of cringeworthy.
yeah, that's true. But I do think that Greg Hardy was one of those players that was, because it was such a prolific case, the NFL put Greg Hardy on the NFL exemption list, which means I think you still get your money, or it's either you get it or it's just withheld until you're off of it. You can't play, you can't do team practices or anything like that, but you aren't cut. Like, you're still on, like, within contract with that team until the due process pays out in the legal sense. So I think that's kind of what you was mentioning, or what you were referring to was, I think what they have is the NFL exemptions list. But
so is that like suspended with pay pending?
It's either administrative leave with pay, or until further notice. But I want to say you still get paid, or I don't think they lose that money because of that. Because I think it would have been like,
you get paid depending on the outcome.
I don't know the details. I don't know if you're still getting paid actively. I don't know if you are like, you're not getting your money taken away. Like, you're not getting charged, or taking money taken away out of your pocket because you're on an exemption list, because they're wanting to see what happens.
The outcome is first.
Yeah. So I think they kind of like pause, like wait and see, and then based on the outcome, they will adjust accordingly. I think that's what it is.
And the NFL's great at that. that I don't mean that as a compliment. They sit back, because like you said, the Greg Hardy thing, it caught so much national attention that they were like, oh, wait a minute, we got to act on this, man.
Yeah.
Other times they run like Reg just did, man. Like, it's like, oh, they wait, they see. People aren't talking about it. It's not on Twitter. It's on the national news. It's a sweep. It's under the rug. And they've been shown that's like plays into how they respond to things.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I was just going to mention that, I do kind of follow a little bit more on the lines with, Reg and Kevin about them not being the same space of an argument. But, that Tom Brady did make me think about, like, yo, did Tom Brady just get away with blah, blah, blah? And it really wasn't just Tom Brady. It should have been the whole, because I think it was an organizational thing. It wasn't just Tom Brady acting on his own. It was...
For Spygate, for Deflategate, the alleged allegation was he was specifically directing through text message, hey, this is what...
True, but they never got the phone. That cell phone. So it was all allegedly, man. And,
the glove don't fit.
So, but they did make me think about some of the other season-long bans or suspensions. So, like, for example, was it Josh Gordon, the wide receiver?
Oh, yeah.
Smoking weed?
Yeah.
Substance abuse?
Yeah.
It's not a PED, but it's a substance abuse, and they'll ban you for that for a year or two. But
wasn't his repeated?
He's also a repeat offender, but still, like, there is a suspension window. I think it's like maybe 6 games, and after that it's like a year. Then after that it's like 2 years. Like, it just keeps going up. But substance abuse is looked at harshly, particularly weed, because I think that's one of the main things that they look for. And to me, that would be something where I'm just like, okay, like this gets 2 years or 1 year, whatever. Gambling, which I do think should be a season off at least, because that is directly having an ability to undermine the authenticity of the game. Meaning, I have the ability to not block, I have the ability to not catch a ball, I have the ability to, not do things, what they call point shaving, right? So it's like, I know, like, why is he dropping all these balls? Yeah, because he's gambling on them to only win by like 3 points. And he's in the end zone, and they could have won by 10, 7 or 10, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Like, that directly impacts the product. I can see that. And I do think that that's a just decision. Suspension. Go ahead.
Let me throw this in the mix, because I like where Reg brought up, and I like how you just elaborated, like, on the Tom Brady thing, right? And we're talking about all the other worms, comparing domestic violence to betting to gambling. What if we throw in animals? So I just thought about it while you mentioned that comment. Mike Vick, So Goodell acted before the courts even finished their investigation of Mike Vick and the dogfighting. He was suspended indefinitely, and he gave the Falcons the green light to recover the $22 million of Mike Vick's signing bonus, man, off of dogfighting.
Wow.
Dogs. So that message is really saying, because keep in mind, domestic violence comes with a 6-game minimal suspension. That's standard. Domestic violence, you found guilty, suspended for 6 games. Vick was suspended indefinitely. His jail time was separate from the NFL, so I'm not going to include that. But they let the team recover $22 million for dogfighting, not gambling, nothing that affected the bottom line of the NFL. And I'm not condoning dogfighting, not hurting other sentient human beings. And they brought the house down in this dude, man. So are they saying that dogs are more valuable than women? It's an interesting conversation to have with that, man. How they respond to things. And it's like they don't understand the messaging that is sent out when they do these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then again, does it matter? The NFL had like the highest playoff ratings they've ever had in eons, and the brand keeps growing. So
that's a good question. Does it matter?
That's a very good question. Very good point on that one.
Yeah. The way that people take it, probably no, because Ray Rice got suspended 2 games for and this is after NFL already had the videotape. It's kind of been confirmed that they knew about it before it went public, and then it went public, and then they decided they want to like huddle, figure out what's the best action. I mean, it's always like kind of like a wait and see, and then like a lot of pressure. Come on, guys, fine, 2 games.
What's Twitter saying?
Leave them alone.
What's Twitter saying?
Yeah, get off our backs, guys. Look, we did it. Are you happy now? Like that kind of thing. This is before that 6-game minimum, though. See, so that's kind of, I want to bring up the Ray Rice one because I know that Ray Rice was before that 6-game minimum, and that came after this, and I think some other domestic assault ones that popped up because they were getting so much pressure about how light some of these sentences or these suspensions were with respect to domestic violence. So also just something we want to throw out there. So. You know,
yeah, man.
NFL is inconsistent. That's the only thing that's consistent about them. They make money and they're inconsistent.
Yeah, the message I got from that is like it may be buying into the whole trope where animals are defenseless and they don't have consent. You know, they're kind of defenseless. So maybe it buys into the trope that maybe somebody did something to deserve it, and that's terrible. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Why else? Why else before? If you would have told me, oh, they were following the investigation and we don't know what point in the investigation they were with Vic versus this one. But if you're telling me before the verdict even came in or the investigation was concluded, they were already like, go ahead and let's make this move, but they won't do that for women or, you know, other people, humans. That's just disgusting.
Yeah.
So, anything else y'all want to add to this, man? We know, like, we kind of chopped this up pretty well. I think it's pretty candid discussion. Cool. All right, man. Right. Well, Calvin Ridley, man, do better. I hope that $11 million lesson was worth all of it. So, moving on, man. Ben Simmons. Oh, man, this guy. The latest Ben Simmons news. I mean, we seen him. We've been talking about him since, like, what, summertime? Actually, since May. Since May.
Ben Simmons is like that. Ben Simmons is like Top Gun 2, that movie that they talk about that never comes out.
Detox.
The next Friday, the last Friday.
Yeah, man. Ben Simmons, he's in the news again, and again, it's not because he did anything wrong or right. He just look, man.
On the court.
He's just look. This is people want to know. Like people just want to know. He made another public appearance. He's been on the sidelines with the Brooklyn Nets, and this time specifically, he was on the sideline at the former team of Philadelphia 76ers. Now, if you don't know Philadelphia, they are some very hard fans. Either they love you or they hate you. Ain't no moderate in there. So they did not hold back when the Brooklyn Nets played the 76ers in Philly, and they were booing Ben while he was working out. They were booing Ben while he was just chilling at the hotel. They were booing Ben every chance they got. They were heckling him and making everyone know that hey, we still don't like you guys. We still don't like what you did, and I want you to feel it. So this is just the latest of the Ben news, the Ben saga. This is the Ben saga. This is almost like the Lord of the Rings at this point, the Ben saga. And the latest news on when he's coming back, we don't know because he has a back injury. We don't know about that one, but let's just say like that's what they call it, back injury, and trying to get into game shape. And so we don't know we're gonna see him. It's suited up. So, but let's just kind of focus on this particular incident with Ben Simmons in Philadelphia. Was this really just a good idea to just have him on the sideline in such a toxic place, like a place that just is just going to heckle him? They probably got they had shirts talking about him, calling him Mr. Softy. I've seen, the news anchors talking about him. This is a good place. This is a healthy place for Ben Simmons, who's going through his thing right now.
What's his thing? Because his thing seemed to be back issues. I don't know. It seemed like the mental health.
Yeah. Mental health.
He's going through his back issues, really.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I think it's best to keep it as his thing because we don't know.
Yeah, what is his thing? We don't know.
Just keep it as his thing. That's the safest way.
You know that thing. What direction you going with this one, Chris?
Oh man, we gonna start with you, Kev. Man, we gonna keep.
Man, I don't know what's going on. What's the question, man? Remind me what the question
is. It a good idea for him to be on the sideline in Philadelphia of all places? Like, there's places he could be.
Probably. I mean, it really depends. It goes back to what is going on with Ben Simmons. Because if he's in a certain state where that was actually the cause of how he got into that state, it may not be the best place. But I like what Kurt said pre-pod, right? Maybe the trial will be for him to get on the free throw line and get booed. To say that a trial may be good for you to get over whatever it is you're facing. So maybe this could be a test. So the environment could be toxic, but it could also be, am I at peace? Am I at a place where I can walk through this toxicity and not let it impact me? Mm-hmm. In that respect, maybe it was good. Are you still struggling? Probably not the best place for you to be. But now it seems like it's just the back that's holding him back. Now, I don't mean to be redundant, but that's the only thing that's so I don't know what's going on, man. Being heckled like that is like, it ain't fun for anyone, especially someone in his position where it seems as though he wasn't appreciating what Philly had to offer. But I don't know, maybe he want to say, all right, look, I'm here, and throw it back in their face that I'm still standing. Maybe that was his protest. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Good idea or not? I don't know. I don't know if it was a good idea or not. I say all that to say, man, it depends.
It depends. Just like we don't, it's just inconclusive. This is basically been the inconclusive saga.
The saga continues. It's the only thing we know.
Yeah. Reg, man, you have anything you want to add to this?
Man, I love this, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm not gonna sit here and front. I thought this was the greatest thing ever. I don't really enjoy hate watching. So all those people who got dressed up, got their clothes ready, it was lined up. They got lined up. They got the best seat. I usually get the nosebleeds, but today I wanna be right behind him. I want to be in his ear. Those people came out there, and they was ready to see Ben Simmons and just tell him what they thought. And they team got beat so badly. Like, it was just nuts.
They did.
It was just a blowout. Harden was there, right? It wasn't like Ben Simmons out here chilling in street clothes. Everybody just coming in just cooking him. They could boo, they could do whatever they want, and he didn't seem disturbed. So now, mental issues aside, it was also good to see him there. He was engaged, cheering on his team and all that, being engaged as a teammate. That's a good thing to see. That it seems like they're going in the right direction. So in terms of him being a softie, as they said, he didn't seem too soft. He seemed okay there. He didn't look like he was scared, looking over his shoulder. He was there enjoying the game, and that's just what it was. I enjoyed seeing that. To answer the question though about whether I thought it was a good idea or not, and it depends to me is whether he was comfortable, and he seemed comfortable. So to me, it seems like a good idea. Now, like y'all said, it's time to do it on the court. Maybe he has performance anxiety because obviously he don't got social anxiety because he was out there doing just cheering the team on. Didn't matter what the haters were saying in Philadelphia. So it was a good moment to me. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you love the Twitter drama, so I see why you're really in tune with all the trolls that's going on. You just like, this is Twitter in real life.
It was. I don't know what y'all thought, but that's what I was thinking when I was watching it.
Yeah.
Your team get cooked at home like that. When y'all came prepared to say something, but y'all left early.
Hey,
Yeah.
they came just for that. They just came for that. You know what I mean? They came for that, and it's like, all right, man, nothing to see here. Game is trash. Let's move on.
If you was gonna do all that, you could at least saw your team through the end and be like, well, y'all lost, but at least y'all came and tried or whatever. Nah, y'all left early.
Nah, shoot.
Yeah.
So did the Sixers. The Sixers left early too.
Ben Simmons left early. Y'all left early. Y'all the same to me.
Oh, okay. All right. Sure.
Who are you on the same bucket?
Kurt Cheller, man. What do you got to add to this, man? This is a good idea.
Man, first of all, I disagree with Red's thing, man. Ben is still a softie in my book, bruh. Sitting down on the bench with your boys in the comfort and underneath the shadows of Durant and Kyrie is easy, bruh. That's easy. That's no toughness involved in that. And we talking about words through his agent, because keep in mind, Ben has yet to say anything to the public to control his own narrative. Through his agent, Richie Rich, what Embiid said and what Doc said had an effect on him. Bruh, they just called it how it was. They asked Doc, can Ben Simmons be the point guard in the championship team? Doc answered honestly, bruh, I don't know. Embiid, I looked up and had this and some things happened. There was a missed shot,
Come on now. Y'all know this. Y'all know this.
From his mind, recall the final couple of plays of that game. Was he wrong? No, that was a factual retelling of what happened. So two people, one speaking facts, one giving his opinion, and it wasn't a harsh, I don't know, hurt his feelings, right? And this is how we got to where we are. Nah, man, him showing up don't mean a thing. Now, who I will commend though, who I give a kudos to, I do give a kudos to their organization. Durant and Kyrie stepped up big on behalf, keep in mind, other people fighting battles for him, on behalf of Ben Simmons, right? That was huge, man. Patty Mills came out and said, I want Ben to know that he's welcome in his team, man. I guess there was reports that he walked in with Patty Mills, warmed up with Patty, and left out with Patty, man. Because Patty said, I want people to know that I got his back, that he's welcome there. So big kudos to the Nets organization, man. That's tremendous. And I think you can expect that from like an organization that Durant is a part of, because he doesn't get into the fray. He flies above it. He tries, right? And I commend him for that, because dealing with Harden and Kyrie fighting the vaccine mandate, and now he has been, and the Warriors, Durant has been able, battle tested. So I give kudos to them, bro. The Sixers, we talk about them, they failed. I boo Ben, I boo Embiid, I boo Harden, I boo Doc from the terrible rotations, bro. Elves across the board, A's to the Nets.
All right.
Big shout out to the Brooklyn Nets, the biggest winner in all it is. I don't know how they let this trade happen. Y'all, everybody was like, "Ooh, they got Harden." No, like, all right, it's hamstring. I saw him on the sidelines getting the hamstring rubs. I told y'all, this is the worst trade ever.
Harden dropping the ball like this remind me years ago when he was going up for a three to put the Spurs out. An old man Ginobili blocked him. Blocked that 3-pointer from the back. That's the Harden I see in big games, man.
Yeah.
So
I agree with the Embiid thing though. Like, he was just giving the breakdown to ask him what happened. Mm-hmm. But I would say on the doc, he was telling the truth, but he wasn't supposed to tell the truth. That's it.
Hey man,
I remember you saying that.
Will Smith said, "Tell the truth. Tell the truth."
You're not supposed to. Well, you in the situation, hey man, this make my butt look big or make me look fat. Not supposed to tell the truth all the time.
Wow.
Fair.
You right. Speaking through experience. Look, man. Look, this is not a good idea for Ben Simmons to be out there, and I'm gonna tell you why. He ain't even got it. Look, this dude has how many reasons for not suiting up and playing, right? Like, okay, first it was some mental health issues, right? He has mental health issues. I don't think being in proximity to people who are negatively insulting you or like throwing chants at you and making a spectacle around, like, focus on you. It's not even about the game anymore. It's about like making sure that they know that you know how they feel. I don't think that was putting him in a positive trend on his mental health issue. If it's about the proximity of Philadelphia, the organization, the players, the fans, any of that stuff. If it's something outside of that, fine, whatever. Didn't he just say he had like a back issue?
Yeah. Why
are you out there warming up dunking?
Move around. You should move around.
Yeah.
So you okay? You as a doctor, would you be okay saying, "Hey, you have a back issue. I'm going to be okay. I'm gonna write off. Say, hey, you are clear to do non-contact dunks." Is that
objection, bro?
Is that fair?
Objection. You asking us to speculate what we would think if we was a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm gonna say some dumb shit, right? But I'm not a doctor, right? I could be like, you shouldn't dunk. But if an actual doctor that knows what the hell is going on tells me he could dunk, then he right and I'm wrong. I'm not the expert.
I mean, we have physical therapy at some point, right? At least I think some of us have. Usually tell you to keep moving, right? Is this you're restricted on what you can do, but you should stay mobile though, depending on if your body allows you to.
Okay, all right. So
I ain't see the team doctor throw the towel on the court and say stop the dunk. So
I just
see that towel water fight either, man. You know, them towels are.
But you see
there's
why.
a shortage of towels.
But you see why I say this is just not a good idea, right? Because guess what? Like, some people who are pro Ben Simmons, who probably think like he has his best intentions, they're not gonna be unmoved. And then people who are probably gonna be out here like, oh well, I don't think he really has a back issue. We don't know if he does or doesn't. He's out here dunking in pregame warm-ups. I'm just like, yo, okay. If anything, it just adds fuel to the fire to either to that side, or, you know, again, the people who really feel like, you know, has an authentic back issue, is saying, hey, you know, doctor says it's okay, or, you know, the organization says okay. Look, this is part of his rehab. That's just part of the process.
I've seen Iguodala been day to day with his back. One day he out here dunking, being MVP quality in the finals. The next day he missed the game. It's the back.
Tricky though. That's the thing,
bro. It's the Nets. It's the Nets, man. Think about it. Think about this, right? Who else couldn't dunk and got to the Nets and started dunking?
Bro, stop playing, man.
Bro.
Stop it,
bro.
Stop it.
Yeah, I got just tonight.
Hold on. Maybe he got something. Hey, yo. So you telling me Coachella? They got wizards, they got magicians over there in the organization that's out here like.
They are close to DC. They're close to the DC Wizards.
Yeah, Wizards. Yeah.
Those same folks telling him he can't play one-on-one right now is the same folks allowing him to dunk. So, I mean, I don't think they got a wizard on there. It's just, hey, the dude can do so much. He's working his way back. Working your way back looks like work, though. So, the fact that he's out there shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
It shouldn't fuel any fire. It will fuel any fire that you're looking for fuel for. You know what I'm saying?
And in terms of fan reception, I don't think it matters. Just like you said, hearts are not being changed. Yeah. So why does it matter? I think a lot of the times, like, you might think, oh well, the fans, whatever. I don't think these players get moved by fans that much, because I know Westbrook was like, why would I be upset? I got kids at home.
Westbrook is literally upset at people calling him West Brick.
The Westbrook thing, but I'm talking about in terms of them saying like him getting booed. But what really upset him, you say he getting upset with the Westbrook thing. Sure, he says that, but you could tell what really upset him, being put at the bench in crunch time. It's what your coaches and your players think of you.
I think,
not what the fans think.
I think both of it happens. I understand what you're saying, but I do think both of them has some weight to it. I mean, obviously we've talked about like Kevin Durant being sensitive to fans, Twitterverse or whatever. Otherwise, Ben Simmons said some things or whatever. And I mean, it's not every player. I don't think Westbrook personally cares about like fans from an individual basis, but I do. Well, I'll say like this from a group think basis. But I do think individuals who act a little bit out of line, a little bit.
He don't like being disrespected.
He don't like that, right?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But
in person.
Yeah. So I do think. I mean, and hold on, wasn't Devin Booker the one who threw out the mascot because he was the only moving thing in the arena and he was shooting a free throw? He's like, "Hey man, get this guy out of here. I don't like it. He's messing up with my free throws. You're supposed to mess with your free throws. You are not playing in freaking Phoenix. You're playing in Toronto." So I think some players do have their moments. But I would get back to Ben Simmons. The only reason I even say this is not a good idea is because you could do all that stuff behind closed doors. If you want to go through physical therapy and all that stuff, like it's sometimes it's better to just do it behind closed doors because it just leaves less public. There's not a public forum for people to talk about you. And if you don't want to be in the news, if you just want to, hello, did I miss you?
No, the catch your voice.
It may not be bothering him,
It may not.
Yeah.
It may not. But guess what? He's been in the news cycle this week because Philadelphia.
I feel you, Chris, but I feel like I know we talked about this before. Like Reg brought up the point: has he been in all the other games or not? Let's assume he has. And for him to miss the Philly game,
that looks bad.
He's been in the news cycle now. They will blast him if he didn't show up for that.
Coward, he ain't even show up.
No heart.
He running.
Yeah, and I've heard people already say that. They say, "Oh, well, yeah. Guess what? That's cool. It's so nice. It's so comfortable. Kind of like what you were saying, Kurt. It's so nice, to sit on the sideline watching Kyrie and KD carry the team, and all you had to do was just kind of like clap and be mentally engaged with your team plugged in. Now you gotta play though. Eventually you gotta suit up. If they meet in the playoffs, you gotta suit up. You can't. That's just the next valid thing. And so, the next logical step that people want to see. So,
This was a good step then. In that case, with that line of thought that you just put out there, it's like this was a crawl. This was a crawl right here.
Okay.
I think to Kurt's point, he could have been called a detached teammate.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey. He answers the phone call from Brooklyn. It's the folks in New Orleans who don't be answering people's phone calls. So, but
it would be a fair game. It would be if they meet again. It'll be a 4-on-4 game, man. Because Simmons will freeze up, Harden will freeze up. So this will be 4-on-4 basketball.
That's the hamstring. Harden there. His hamstring to be freezing up.
I can't wait for.
He had good games before, but then that one game is a bad game.
Wow. You know what? I think this would be the best Eastern Conference or just Eastern matchup in the Eastern. Yeah, all the Eastern Conference. If they match up, I think this is gonna get so much eyes on.
I would love to see that. That would be cool.
I would
make it happen, Kamish. You know what I'm saying? Do some of that tinkering you do to make sure people fall and rise to the certain match.
Man, they suck at that. We never got the LeBron Kobe championship, bro.
Why? Because Kobe. Because LeBron was at 8 straight times.
Achilles.
Yeah. But 08, 09, the Lakers came back, and what was LeBron? He was still with the Cavs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, yeah, he didn't have a team.
So cool, man. Anything else I want to say on Ben? Oh, I meant to mention he's filing grievances to try to recoup some of his money that he's been fined and slashed, withheld.
Wow. The audacity.
Do y'all think that's
the audacity? The audacity.
So a man can't go get his money because what I'm saying, he's only short of 25%.
Oh yeah.
This is America, man. You better try.
I'm not gonna stop nobody from trying.
Oh, okay.
You can get that. If you can get that, go for it.
So are you representing him in the mediation?
I wouldn't take the case, but I'm not. Go ahead and try, but that's
Oh,
just the audacity,
I
bro.
would not take the.
Y'all say he's scary?
That's a loser.
That's not somebody moving with fair. That's fearless, right?
No, he's doing it. He's out of Philly now. Of course you can do that, man. It's like when people are gone, like your coworkers leave the organization, like, hey, why is this messed up? Oh man, Cindy messed that joint up, man. You know, it's because of Cindy. It's always, you always blame that person that left. So now that he's under the safety of Big Brother Durant and Big Brother Kyrie, man, of course he can shoot that shot, bro.
Is that GM gonna be there next year? Because the 76ers just taking L's everywhere, bro. Like, what's going on?
Everybody was praising the move because when Harden got there, they ripped off some impressive wins.
I didn't understand why they're praising the move. I don't care if you get the best Harden that's ever existed. That move is so trash.
I mean, had a player that wasn't playing though, so now they have a playing player. I mean,
you're right. And you knew he was gonna play. You're not wrong. I agree with you. What you said, 100% son. What I will rebut is they knew that before the season started, and they were getting much better offers. They waited the whole season to not use him, to trade him at the end. Give up the first round picks that you were trying to get first round picks. You ended up giving up first round picks. You could have been made this trade.
And you gave away a contributing player because Seth Curry is balling over them.
2 contributing players.
Oh yeah,
very right. You're very right. This dude, that was a poor move. Yeah, I agree. When I saw that trade, I was like, wait, what happened to the value they were seeking? They were seeking crazy value, and what I saw was like, oh wow, seems like y'all flipped it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bro, if they were holding him to be petty, this is a prime example of being petty backfiring.
Hey, Reg, what did the Sixers have to do to make you change your mind on the trade this season? How far did you have to make it?
There's nothing. If Harden was the best player there's nothing. Because it has to be beyond the season. The repercussions are they could get the championship, and we said championship means something, that would help it. But the repercussions will be, because we talked about this with the Super Bowl, them trading up to get the quarterback and playing off. Sure, that's cool. You do everything to get the chip, but I don't think they're in the favors. They're favored to get the chip. They're a good team, a little bit better with Harden instead of not having Ben Simmons play at all. But you gave up Seth Curry that was giving you great 3-point shooting, and you see that still working on Brooklyn Nets, and you gave up some size with Andre Drummond.
Yeah. You need a backup for Embiid, man, because he's
got no
he's
next
a force, but he's fragile.
Yeah,
he's gotten injured the past few seasons.
He has.
And now you put more strain on him.
Yep. Very valid.
Yeah.
Yo,
he had a good start.
Yeah, man, they should have did this on the summertime. That's what you said. I agree.
They should have.
Yo.
Oh yeah, they could have. Yeah, man.
They were trying to get so much back. They were trying to get picks. They were trying to get marquee players. I remember that. Daryl Morey.
You gotta read the market, bro. You gotta read the market.
Hey, Daryl would have been like, y'all want Steph Curry, injured Klay Thompson, Kuminga, the rest of your picks for the next 5 years, and Draymond, and I give you Ben.
Oh, and I'll take Wiseman too. Wiseman, come over. Like, come on, man. What are you doing?
Curry's optional if you want to throw him in. Hey, bro. So I told you, man, like what I tell y'all way back, I told y'all I would have sent Ben to Orlando. And I would be like, hey, if you don't want to work with me,
give me all your first picks. Give me all your picks.
I would be out here, hey, give me Terrence Ross.
And you got Fultz back?
I would take Fultz back. I would take Fultz back because guess what? Fultz is actually a player, number one. Number two, I really want Terrence Ross. Like, I don't care about it. Like, if you want to throw
T-Ross balling.
I would just take Terrence Ross, and you know what? I don't care about what happens to you in Orlando, because I know Orlando ain't gonna really take care of you like that. You know what I'm saying? Your career may die there in Orlando, so you know what I'm saying? I would have did that, but
I think they easily could have got Ross, Fultz, and some picks.
Yeah. They definitely would have bit that, but you know what? They wanted all these marquee all-stars, all NBA players. Nah, bro. Not for no Ben, not for disgruntled Ben Simmons. I can tell you that much. So, yeah, man, it looks like Brooklyn winning on this one, man. They fleeced the Sixers.
And they might get Kyrie back because I think they're talking about New York is talking about changing the mandate, the new mayor.
Yep, I think it's within a couple of weeks. So
Right before the playoffs, watch.
hey, he know what the moneymaker is, man. Playoff time. So we'll see. We'll see.
The eighth seed right now, so they still got some work to do.
They made it to the 8th
Yeah,
because I think they had made it all the way down to 10th.
Yeah, they did. You're right.
Wow.
So they clawed their way back over the past week or so.
Mm-hmm.
So if they get to 7, they only got to play one play-in game, I believe, right?
Yep.
True.
Yeah.
Well,
So
you have 2 tries to win once. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I mean, it's the same thing whether you're 7 or 8.
You're
Yep, I
going to
think-
make it either way, but you're going to either fall in 7th if you win twice, and if you lose that second game after winning the first, you fall to 8th, I believe. Something like that. Was it
I
not
don't know. I
that?
always forget.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
confusing. So,
I see what you're saying.
so yeah.
but
So right now, yeah, they stay in that 7-8 spot. They'll be okay.
mhm.
Yeah, wow. The Nets are dangerous, bro. That's like the most dangerous team for the positioning where they're at,
Mhm.
and how it could like they totally elf up the Eastern playoff bracket. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like 12 or 13 games left too.
Hey.
So
That's
they
it?
can yes, there's not that many games left, but they can totally climb the rankings.
I don't think they'll get to 6 where they'll be out of the play-in.
Mhm.
It's
I mean, 6 only got 3 more wins than them.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, East is everything's close in the
it's
East.
stacked in the East.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Who's the 6th seed?
Cavs.
Cavaliers.
They got and they lost Allen too, man, for a little
Yeah.
while with a finger.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Oh wow, the 6 seed is they can get to 6.
Yeah.
We'll
it's,
see, man.
Right, this playoff's gonna be amazing.
It is.
I mean, to be honest, like if the Heat just straight, they could go all the way to number 1 if everybody just lost, but it's not realistic.
That's
It's
right.
not- it's just, I'm just saying, like nothing's out of strike for them. It's
You're
close
right.
in the East is what the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, but they could probably get 6. So having them come in as a 6 seed, the Lakers are battling for a play-in. The Warriors are trying to straighten up. They win a game with Steph Curry's 8 points. But this is going to be an interesting playoffs, man. And Phoenix is still waiting for Paul to come back. This is going to be wow.
Definitely we're ready to watch. So,
Mhm.
all right, man. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, man. We've been in for a minute, man, in the dungeon. So let's go ahead and get out of this, man, and set up with the sign-offs, man. Kurt, you got your little class session thing. Your little what do you call it? Kurt's block. Kurt's
Factoid.
factoid. There you go. You got your little.
So yeah.
You got one. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I got one. I can't remember if I did this before, but yeah,
There you go.
let me know.
All right, man.
I ain't one.
Crystal let you know.
Well, just give us 2. Just give us 2 there. How about that? Kev, we can start with you, man. I'll let Kurt figure that out.
I ain't got much to say, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with us as usual. You know, you could be doing something else, so we always appreciate when you spend your time with us. We here every Tuesday, like my boy Chris says. We in here. Tune in. Subscribe.
We in here.
Comment. Let's do it.
Cool. Reg, what you got?
Hey, thanks everybody for joining us, rocking with us, showing up, and betting on us. So, just want to say thanks for that, and that's it. Let's keep it moving.
Cool. Kurt, man, you up?
Hey man, I'm gonna lean into it, man. Like I never said this one before, man. So speaking of betting and putting your money where your mouth is, man. This is not sports related, but it's hilarious to me. So you remember the COVID relief funds? Everybody was snatching up during the COVID peak period.
Mm-hmm.
There's a dude doing 3 years in jail, right? For using his COVID relief funds to purchase this elusive Pokemon card.
I think I heard.
Guess how much money he allocated towards it?
1 million.
No, not that high.
Thousands, man.
57,000
I don't know, man.
57,000.
for one Pokemon card, bro. Served for 3 years in jail for it, man. So
Did he
yeah.
get it? Did he get it?
Oh,
he
man.
got the card.
He got the card? Hold on. So
Yeah.
did the federal jurisdiction or state, did they confiscate it?
Yeah, wait. Is he winning?
Yeah, that worked.
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's what I want to know. That's like a good gamble right there. Look, I do think you're going to see Lucer Pokemon card. That thing is going to grow. Like, it's going to grow in value. So, That's a good move.
Hey, so I mean, he's right in line with Calvin Ridley, man. Risking it all, baby. Risking it all.
I mean, what was the business though? Because he could have been a Pokemon card trainer. It could have been legitimate.
He could have been.
I don't think he was a Pokemon.
Obviously, he lost in court, so maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds legit to me.
If that was the thing, I don't think he'll be doing 3 years jail time for it, man.
What's his name?
That's some
Ash.
serious time though. That's some serious time though. They ain't playing.
Nah, they not, bro. 57,000 COVID relief funds for a Pokemon card, and you know he was in Georgia.
Why you say it like that?
Because I hate Georgia, man.
Oh,
That's
man.
what made me find the fact, man. I hate Georgia, man. They beat my team. I hate them.
Wow, they're taking it personal. So,
Oh, man.
No, that's the first time disclosing that one. That was a good one. I think I've heard
Yeah,
about that
that's
though,
good.
but hey, it fit the thing
I never heard it.
of gambling on yourself, betting on yourself,
Gambling. Yeah.
betting on yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Thanks everyone for rocking with us. Again, we're here every Tuesday. Hit the like, hit the notification bell, subscribe, please. Again, it helps the algorithm, gurus up there in the what do you call it? The Google sphere.
Metaverse?
Yeah,
The ether.
metaverse, you know what I'm saying?
The ether.
Not the black market, the fair market, white market. I don't know. But yeah, man. It helps all of that stuff work in our favor, man. So we get more views and we get pushed up the algorithm, all that fun stuff. So yeah, please tell a friend, hit like, subscribe on the video if you like what we're doing. Again, we're here every Tuesday. Again, check us out on the audio side on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Check us out on the social media side as well. Again, we're active, we're there. So we're done for Tuesday, man. So until next Tuesday, man, I'll let you guys go, man. Deuces.
Later.